I do believe the general is about to die. And indeed he is, in fact, dead. Okay, guys, welcome back. And welcome back to what I believe is going to be the last turn of the campaign here. The last couple of battles to fight. Basically, what we've got going on here is we've only got 2 more regions to take, and 2 more of them are actual listed victory regions. One is Georgia, and the other is the Confederation of New England, aka Savannah and Boston. Both of which are currently under siege by my armies, and both of which are going to be attacked this turn. So I believe, well, this will either be the last turn, or I might have to hit end turn to get like a victory screen. I don't know if I have to actually like hold it for a turn or something like that. But either way, the campaign is going to be coming to an end very, very soon. Now, I do want to end the campaign on a good note, because you might have observed in the last couple of episodes, things did not exactly go our way. We weren't like defeated, except in one battle, but oh, should I list it out? I guess I should list it out. So first, the American Navy was pulverized by the Spanish out in the waters here. In fact, I actually ended up disbanding the 2 surviving ships because I was like, you know what, this isn't working out. This isn't working out. And then, of course, the Spanish immediately came and took Boston, and even like my brave last stand, or at least that's what it was going to be, turned out to be just a flop because I wasn't able to get my units into buildings in time because the deployment zone didn't cover the town. Anyway, so there's that problem. Then let's see what came next. Was it the Battle of Charleston? Yes, I think it was the Battle of Charleston came next. And, well, not only did we have to face a very large enemy force and take many, many casualties, but that was also the battle where the FPS was just very bad for much of the battle. So that was very unfortunate. And oh yeah, that's right, that replay ended in a crash, which I think is I believe that's the first crash of the campaign. I mean, it might be the second, but I guess the first crash, if it happened, it wasn't very memorable. One crash, we'll say it's one crash, and you guys can correct me in the comments if you recall me saying at any point that there was another crash earlier in the campaign. Now, it happened at the end of the battle too. Like, I think at the point that it crashed, we had just won the battle. We had gotten the continue battle screen, and since it was just a replay, obviously I didn't have to like do the replay again. I just sort of ended it there and was like, okay, well, at this point we just ran down the enemy. So you know what? That's fine. That's fine. I mean, not great, but it's fine. Then we had the Battle of Tellico over here, where we had Native American units just like springing up out of the very grass, like amongst my lines and like behind me and around me. And units were just being thrown left, right, and center to try and like hold some kind of line. Then, even when I thought I had won and I was sending out my cavalry to like take out some artillery, it's like, no, there's still a whole bunch of units out there that need fighting. Oh yeah, and then there were the British showing up behind my lines from the beginning of the battle. Which, just to clarify, I think I mentioned this in the battle itself, but in like Medieval 2 and Rome 1, units show up based on the battlefield based on where they were on the campaign map. So because I attacked Tellico from this side here, I would expect the British to show up behind the enemy, so they would just basically link up. If the British were to show up behind me, I would have expected their army to be somewhere back here in order to show up behind me. And again, maybe that's just not the way it works in Empire, but I didn't know that. So I didn't like bother looking for them because I was like, oh no, they're going to be in that direction. Oh, and also we couldn't use that replay because it was, well, unusable. Which, now that I think about it, the reason it was unusable was because of those gullies that were, or ravine, well, I don't want to call it a ravine, just ditches. Okay, we'll call them ditches that were in front of the artillery. They almost look like bugs, like a problem with the terrain generation. And I wonder if the replay just doesn't have that bug, like that problem with the terrain generation, and that's why it looks normal and like an ordinary hill. And I wonder now, if I had just saved before the battle, gone into the battle, seen that, oh, hey, there's these ditches here. These aren't supposed to be here. If I had exited the game and gone back into the battle again, like come back into the game, try the battle again, would the ditches still have been there, or would it have been perhaps fixed on a second try? I do not know the answer to this. If you know the answer to this, if you've seen this sort of thing and tested it before, then let me know in the comments down below, because I'm curious now. But anyway, the point is that the last few battles, the last bit of the campaign here has been quite a show. It's been quite a show. And so I want to end the campaign on a good note with a couple of, if not, like complete victories, at least, reasonable victories. Like I am expecting this victory to be quite complete because we're not exactly fighting His Majesty's finest here. Mostly citizenry mobs. That tribal auxiliary unit will hopefully just run right up to our Minutemen and get appropriately blasted to bits. That would be lovely. So I'm expecting this battle to go pretty well. This battle here, I mean, not so much. I mean, I'm expecting to win, let's be clear about that. But they actually have a lot of cavalry. They have some good line infantry units. And then they have some admittedly not great units, but this is a force that can definitely fight back. Now, neither of these are going to be fort battles, so we don't need to worry about, loss of FPS if the AI just kind of freaks out and starts doing its own thing. We don't need to worry about any Native American units here, so we don't need to worry about units just like appearing, behind us, around us, and in our lines. So, you know what? I think these last couple of battles will go well, is where I'm going with this. Now, I don't see any further reason for delay, so let's just, we'll do the battle down here first, and then we'll finish the battle with General Washington at Boston. So, in we go. All right, welcome to the battle. So, just to show you our forces here, we've actually kind of been split in half here. We have Rangers on either flank, with Minutemen interspersed. Well, actually, the Minutemen make up the majority of the line, with the artillery interspersed between them. There's the other Rangers there on the flank. We then have 3 units of cavalry back here, one of which is the general, and then the other 2 are over here. And the reason I have them split up like this is just because there's this unfortunate gap here in the line. But I think it's okay, simply because the forces arrayed against us are not exactly very great by any real metric. Size, quality, it's not really that much of a threat, I don't think. Of course, such arrogance has gotten me into trouble in the past, but this is a replay, so I already know what happened, so I know that everything is going to go well, so ha! Take that, karma. All right, anyway. The cannons are firing, obviously. The enemy is pushing forward. The enemy is pushing forward specifically to this side of the battlefield. And so what I'm going to end up doing is actually having my Minutemen push forward here and my Rangers stand up here on the I was going to say cliff, but it's a little small to be a cliff. Maybe more of a hill here. The idea was that the Rangers might be able to assist firing in this direction while the Minutemen swing around. I can tell you now that the enemy doesn't attack close enough, really, for the Rangers to fire, so we end up having the Minutemen, the Rangers, and the cavalry all swing out on this side. But we need the enemy to come forward first to actually attack the line, because I wanted them to be fully engaged with the forces over here before having my hammer come out here to swing on the anvil. So this is the part I push the Minutemen forward and then the Rangers on the hill here, but again, not going to be for a bit here before they actually come out to attack. The enemy forces consist entirely of firelock armed citizenry, except for the 1 unit of native cavalry over here. Tribal auxiliaries, whom we have had to fight throughout the entirety of the campaign. Right, I think the cannons are going to be firing here in a moment. I've switched them to fire canister shot and to fire at will, which is why they're not firing anymore. The enemy is not within range, but they will be shortly. Very shortly. Oh, there we go. I was going to say, I think they're within range now, and indeed they are. And ow, that hurt. The enemy, not me. I was quite happy with the results. Now, as they push forward, I'm actually curious. Okay. These two units I didn't notice until the end of the battle, and I was wondering if they were there the entire time, and it appears the answer is yes. See, this is a real problem with the AI, where, like, if you're going to attack, you should probably just attack. Instead of walking along the front of our line like this. Because then most of their units already are being sent into retreat. Of course, the loss of their general is definitely affecting them. But now, as I stated earlier, the Minutemen and the Rangers are coming down off the hill, along with the cavalry there in the back. Ironically, they kind of, they sort of run alongside the Firelock armed citizenry, because as you could see, it looked like they were charging over to fight them, but then they started routing. So the Rangers just kind of run alongside them for a bit here. I wonder if they actually came to blows. That was something I wasn't able to see in the actual battle, but I guess we'll find out now. Looks like it. The Rangers are among them. Yep, taking out a few of them there. Rangers with their ever-changing caps. Alright, but anyway, they form up over there, and I do send the cavalry into the city here to go after the routing units, because the battle is actually not over. Many of the enemy forces do actually rally, and some of them are actually still, quote-unquote, in the battle. Not sure if that's it's not much of a battle, if I'm being honest. It's more of they walk within range and are massacred by my troops. All right, so anyway, we've got the cavalry over here chasing them through the town. They are being shot by the Firelock armed citizenry over here. Or at least they're being shot at. I don't know if they're actually being killed. I don't think we suffered much in the way of casualties, so I imagine they didn't kill very many of them. Meanwhile, the Rangers are firing down over here, and it looks like this cannon unit just obliterated that citizenry unit. All right, now I think at this point, and yes, my cavalry chased them all the way over here, but at this point I still have not noticed those two units. Are they going to fire? It says firing, but I don't see anyone standing up and actually firing, so I guess they didn't. That would have been really embarrassing if I just hadn't noticed them until the end of the battle, even though they were literally shooting my men. Alright, so now on this flank, we are going to have the other cavalry go ahead and start charging out here. And something very interesting is going to happen. Well, interesting. Bizarre. Rage-inducing if it had happened in, like, a battle where, like, it actually mattered, where, like, I really needed my cavalry in that moment. It has to do with this building here, and I'm actually really curious. I sort of want to see it happen. Come on down here. It's okay. Perfectly safe. Oh, that's right. These guys actually rally. Okay, well, cavalry will have to earn their pay today then. Ah, and you can see it has happened. The cavalry are stuck in this building here. They managed to enter the building, but they cannot leave it. And they're killing the citizenry who, I guess, were either in the building or maybe they also passed through the building somehow. And you can see I now get these messages that buildings have been captured. Now, the reason why this is rage-inducing is because I'm not able to actually move the cavalry units for the rest of the battle. They'll complete the order that I already gave them. They'll also try and obey an order to withdraw. But what happens is when you tell them to withdraw, the only part of the unit that will actually leave is the part that's outside of the building. These guys cannot leave. They are forever stuck in this building here. And in fact, wait a minute, that's our general right there. You see, I was thinking, well, maybe I need to destroy the building in order to get them to leave, but I'm pretty sure if we destroy the building, they'll die. So I elected not to do that. I think I actually lose 3 of my cavalry units. We'll lose control of 3 of my cavalry units this way. So if you're wondering, like, why do these guys just sit here not moving for most of this cleanup operation here? That's why. Speaking of cleaning up, I have at this point noticed that there's these 2 Firelock armed citizenry units over here, and so I have the Rangers and the Minutemen who are on this left flank just pushing forward to basically take them out. And once these guys are taken out, that is then the end of the battle. At some point, I also do drag the 2 cavalry units that I still have control over here to chase them down. You know what? I think at this point we can go ahead... Oh, actually, let's not fast forward, because I guess we're about to engage the enemy. I think the Rangers do most of the work here. Or so I say, but it looks like the Minutemen are firing. It looked like they must have just passed out of range or something. Right, so now with those guys taken care of, they'll push forward and take out that other unit. But to be honest, I spent most of the battle trying to figure out how to get these guys to move out of the building. And so I kept forgetting about this down here. So, like, they're going to sit here for a bit, do nothing, and then eventually I push them forward to attack that unit. So what I'll do is just to save you the boredom of that, I will just fast forward it here and make the troops go forward. I really should have stopped them at this point and told them to fire, but again, I'm pretty sure my attention was actually over there. I just sort of ignored what was happening over here. I was going to say, we're going to watch the Rangers beat up the citizenry, but no, they're actually immediately routing, so I guess that's not going to happen. And there we have the victory screen, or the screen saying that giving me the option to continue the battle or not. Oh, that's right. I think this entire unit dies at this point. The Rangers start shooting at them, in addition to the Minutemen. Not a single man escapes. That's the end of that unit. So, all that leaves is the other unit that we sent into retreat before. They're over there. The cavalry is chasing them. But to be honest, I think you guys have seen enough. You get the idea here. So I will just let you guys go, and I will bring you back once we're on the campaign map. All right, well, that went well. Very well. With the exception of the cavalry phasing into the building there at the end. To be honest, in another battle, that would have been very upsetting if they had somehow, if they had been still important to the battle. Obviously, again, the battle was over, no big deal. But in another battle, under other circumstances, that would have been very upsetting. Let's see, there's not a whole lot to look at here. The Minutemen would have done most of the killing. Oh, actually, you know what? The foot artillery did Actually, the foot artillery, I think, might have killed more. Or at least, you know, on an individual unit basis. Some of the Minutemen, though, definitely killed a bunch. Well, that Ranger unit killed quite a few there. And, of course, the cavalry as well. All right, well, let's go ahead and close out of that. So, you know what? We don't need to do anything there. We'll come back to it later. Oh, I guess I should mention that really quickly before we go to the last battle. It's something that I say in every campaign as I approach the end. Honestly, usually I give this warning well before this, but I guess the ending here kind of snuck up on me just because of how short the campaign was. But I always play my campaigns fully to the end. And what I mean by that is I don't rush to the end. Like now that we're at the end, like I don't ignore all the construction that still needs to be done, the units that need to be replenished. I still like play right up until the final turn. So if it seems weird that like I keep repairing buildings and stuff and building new buildings and researching new technology, even though the campaign is literally about the end, that's basically why. I like to fully play the game until the end. Partially, as I've mentioned in past campaigns, I have this almost silly idea that I always want to leave a campaign in a state where I could theoretically pick it up again and continue playing, even though I've never done that, not even one time. And before I even had my YouTube channel and was just playing Total War for fun, I never did it then either. You know, I've literally never done it. But it feels weird, almost wrong to me to leave the campaign like with the Empire in shambles. Well, I guess I don't really have an Empire in this campaign. It's a bit small for that. But I don't like to leave my faction like in shambles just because I was rushing to the end to get the objectives and everything. I want everything to be in order. And I realize there's absolutely no logical or, you know, good reason for this. It's just, that's just how I feel. So if it looks like, why are you doing this? Why are you replenishing your army? Why are you, you know, repairing damaged buildings when the campaign's about to end? That's why. That's just how I do things. So anyway, with that little rant out of the way, let's go ahead and get onto, I guess, the main event, because the Battle of Boston, I imagine, is going to be much harder than the one we just did. So anyway, into the battle we go. All right, welcome to the battle. The Battle of Boston. The second Battle of Boston, because, you know, the first one, well, we lost that one. But anyway. Enemy cavalry are charging forward. Over on the left there and on the right. To be honest, I don't remember them actually fighting on the left, so it's interesting to watch the replay and see that happen. Just like that, those guys are sent into retreat. Now, really quickly, though, I think this unit was completely deleted. I don't see any survivors. Now, you see, when I see stuff like that, I always have to question it. Like, did that occur during the actual battle? And I just was so focused over here with what was happening over here that I just didn't notice it? Or is that like an error in the replay? I don't know. Because I didn't notice it during the actual battle. So, anyway, we have our forces lined up here. Rangers on each flank, the cavalry behind them, and then Minutemen with the artillery interspersed in between them. Again, kind of our standard thing at this point. So that's kind of funny to say that, since this is the end of the campaign. No point in setting up a standard after the campaign is already over. Now, I have a confession to make about this battle. Basically, it's very slow at parts, because the enemy will send forward their infantry and kind of line them up, start to charge them forward, but then like change their mind, and stuff just doesn't happen at times. So what I'll probably end up doing is actually skipping forward at various times, and probably without warning. So if you just see like a screen transition, it's not a mistake, it's just that stuff stopped happening. Yes, this did happen during the actual battle, but to be honest, the artillery crew, I mean, they were so depleted by the time they got over here that it didn't make much of a difference, and then the survivors are immediately shot, of course. This is different from the actual battle, though. You see, the artillery crew is standing in front of their cannons instead of picking them up again. And I don't remember having to do that in the battle. Because basically they charged in here and died almost immediately, and so I was like, oh, well, I guess they're not going to actually lose control of their artillery pieces. Oh, dear. This is definitely different from what happened in the battle. Completely different, I will even go so far as to say. I did send the Rangers out there to harass the enemy, but they never came within an inch of being attacked by the enemy. Like, the enemy did not charge over onto the left flank as they are doing now. Like, this whole attack over here did not happen. The same is true of this attack over here. The Rangers on this side were not attacked by the cavalry. So it looks like this battle is completely different now from the one that actually happened. I guess we'll watch the spectacle of it for just a minute. But what I'll do is I'll actually have to show you the actual battle and not the replay. Which is very unfortunate. And what I'll do... Very loud. Maybe I should back up here as I give my explanation. But what I will do is the same rules will apply during the actual battle itself. What I'll do is at those parts where it's kind of slow, I'll just cut ahead. So if you see just transitions without warning, just kind of expect that. Because otherwise, it might seem rather abrupt. But again, the enemy does a lot of back and forth, back and forth. Should I attack? Should I not attack? So I'll probably just cut things at times. With that being said, this alternate history battle of Boston is actually almost more exciting than the actual one because the enemy just immediately tries to come to grips with us. In fact, looks like the only units left are this light cavalry unit and that cannon unit over there. Of course, they're not going to get attacked for quite a long time because my units aren't going to do anything about it for quite a long time. Oh, look, here comes a unit coming back. Oh, I don't know, should I waste your guys' time with this battle? I feel like I should have just ended the battle already and switched to the actual Battle of Boston, but... Just a bit more, Here, once this unit starts routing... Dang it, they start routing immediately. Okay, maybe that's a sign. I should cut the battle here and bring you guys to the actual Battle of Boston. Alright, I will do it right now. Alright, welcome to the battle. As you can see, the Spanish are over the hills over there. Charging our lines here. We do have our now standard practice of integrating the artillery into the lines here. So they shouldn't be taken by surprise by the artillery that's coming in, or the cavalry that's coming in here. And just like that, they are routing. And I imagine those guys will shortly as well. I did tell you to stop firing at will, so you can stop now. You can also stop firing out of the side of your cannon like that. Alright, so that's 2 cavalry units removed. Now, didn't they have their own artillery somewhere? Ah, here they are. And they are pointing in a direction that we are not in. Okay, then. Works for me. Now their line infantry is coming forward. Now, I do not know if the Spanish have researched fire by rank. The British have. We experienced that a battle or two ago. But I do not know if they have or not. And yes, since it is taking them a while to get up here, I am going to have the cannon switch to standard shot and let them fire on the enemy. See if we can take out a few of them before they get over here. Okay, seriously, you guys are starting to annoy me here with your toing and froing. Let's have these rangers come out here, this cavalry get over here, and then this cavalry get over here. Of course, just as I do that, the general starts coming over here again. And he then turns around. So wait, is he actually responding to my rangers? To my rangers leaving the line, I mean. Okay, these guys still are doing nothing. Good, good. Oh, also, did I tell you guys to start firing at will again? Okay, I did. Alright, with that cavalry guarding the flank, I think we can now get the rangers forward here. There's no enemy units over here except for those guys over there, of course. Okay, you guys, stop where you are. Fire onto their flank. They're really not going to... Well, all right, you know what? They're almost in a complete line. Once the general, like, joins the line, will they attack then? Answer yes. Cavalry back here. Or I guess I should say part of their line is charging forward. Like, this unit here is. These guys are walking. Oh, here we go. All right, some of their cavalry is now coming forward. Okay, cavalry, get over here behind the line. Okay, you guys fire on them. Oh, I think you already were. Fantastic. Nothing happening down here yet. Okay, routing shattered. Routing shattered. Okay, very good. Cannons, stop firing. Then you can pick a target in a moment when that cavalry comes in range. Okay, fire at will. Meanwhile, we're going to drag a couple of cavalry units ourselves out of here. Okay, get over here and go get those guys. Oh, the enemy cavalry is coming. You guys stop firing and pick a new target. It looks like most of their routing units are actually routing through their own forces, so we won't be able to go after them, but we can still have the cavalry get this unit. We'll have another unit go over there just to watch their back. Alright, we're going to tell them to use solid shot again. Oh, actually. Okay, they actually are mostly targeting the general already, but let's tell these guys specifically, make sure you fire at the general. You guys, on the other hand, stop what you're doing, switch to canister shot, and then fire at will. Oh, and actually, the other two should be doing that as well. Stop, canister, fire at will. Stop, canister, fire at will. Because they see their cavalry are coming back. Okay, you cavalry, get back here. Alright, I hear canister shot and I hear horses dying. Okay, and just like that, they are routing. So, while they did manage to get an attack off on us, it is fine. In fact, oh yeah, you're actually still in control of your artillery. Fantastic. Alright, is that all of their cavalry now? I think it is. Except for maybe the general's bodyguard, wherever that is. Oh, he's over here. Everyone fire on the general and his bodyguard. Actually, I think just about everyone has a good view. Oh, that shot was strangely arced. It was almost like a mortar shot or a howitzer shot. Okay, and I did give them sufficient rest after their last engagement, so cavalry should be good to go. Yeah, we're slightly blocked by the hill on the left here. Maybe we should go this way instead. Armed citizenry, armed citizenry. Okay, we have to go a few units deep before we get to one of the line infantry units. Shaken, tired, concerned over casualties. That sounds good to me. Stop firing. 2 cavalry units, get forward and hit them in the flank. Keep charging forward. No need to go extra slow all of a sudden. I have to be honest, that was a pretty bad cavalry charge. Okay, cavalry, pull out of there. Rangers, also pull back over here, please. Hey, seriously, why is the ranger unit so messed up? Alright, fire at will, and all of you get up here. And no one's trying to sneak in around this flank, are they? Okay, no, they're not. Honestly, I'm not sure how worthwhile that was. I mean, maybe if my cavalry had actually charged in, it would have been better, but, okay, you know what? Rangers, get back out there again. Cavalry over here. I think what I'm gonna do... they do still have line infantry. You know what? But they don't have all that many. All right. Cannons, no firing at will. We're going to have the Minutemen charge out here as well. We'll have General Washington walk over here. What we're going to do is we're going to push the enemy now. No rest for our former friends. Now they are wavering. Okay, I was going to tell them to go forward, but you know what? Wait a minute. You see the line infantry are coming forward here. Let the Rangers fire into the sides of them. Okay, Minutemen push forward. General Washington, get over here. You know what? I'm actually going to have the cavalry limber up as well. It occurs to me that we don't want a unit going around our infantry and killing them. I do believe the general is about to die. And indeed he is, in fact, dead. Okay, seriously, where are you guys running to? Get over here. Yes, my units are getting very tired, but I guess my consolation is that so are they. Okay, they're already wavering. That's good. Let's get this unit to fire. Well, you know what? No. Let's get this Minuteman unit to step forward. Okay, nope, they're routing. Never mind. Let's just get the entirety of this long militia line that I've got here pushed forward again. And we'll get the Rangers pushed forward as well. Okay, what are the cavalry up to? All right, you guys are going round. That's great. Go around the traps. That's what you're going to do, right? Okay, good. You know what? Let's move the Minutemen over. But it says they're firing, but they can't actually move their cannons, so they shouldn't actually fire. Alright, we should be able to pick off their artillery, too, in a moment. So you guys don't fire at will, because there's an enemy right there. Or there's friends right there, rather. Actually, you know what? I take that back. You guys... just pull forward a bit. Alright, where's the cavalry? Alright, the cavalry is back here. Probably rather tired. Oh no, actually I guess I have given them some breaks, so I guess that's fine. Okay, once again, how much do I need to push these guys forward? Before the enemy will consent to an engagement. Like, every time I go forward, they just back up some more. And of course, just as I say that, it looks like they're actually going to stand and fight now. Alright, well, I guess the fight is now on. Or at least it is on my side. They don't seem to be really fighting themselves, to be honest. Alright, let's send this cavalry unit through the lines here to go and get those guys. Routing shattered, routing shattered. Okay, so basically all of these guys... Oh, okay, great! Cavalry. All of you come forward. See, this unit can go after those guys. Actually, that unit can go after those guys. Let's see, this unit can go after those guys, and this unit can go after those guys. And the general can go after those guys. And this unit can go after those guys as well. Oh, actually, you guys go over here a bit. General go after them. All right. Fantastic. Now we will slaughter the Spanish. Honestly, this was rather, I guess, hard fought. I don't know if that's the right word. Somewhat tedious. On the replay, I might actually skip forward a bit at certain parts because the enemy just doesn't want to fight. I might actually do that if you guys, if for some reason I can't use the replay, then I might do the same thing and just skip ahead at random points here just to skip to the part where where we come to grips with the enemy. Alright, but anyway, I think we've watched the slaughter enough, so I will let you guys go, and I will bring you back once we are back on the campaign map. Alright, so that was a battle that went well, so great. That's how I would want the last battle of the campaign to go. A bit tedious, again, at parts where the enemy just didn't want to fight, but kind of like indicated like, oh, hey, I'm going to come forward and attack you, but not really. And then they would only attack with like 1 or 2 units at times, and then when I chased after them, they just wouldn't form a line and fight. It was all over the place. And they were slaughtered, of course, for their poor tactical skills. Now, the artillery did pretty well. Yeah, everyone did well, so long as they actually managed to like participate in the battle, and we hardly lost anyone, of course. Rangers did very, very well. To be fair, I was using them for much of the battle there, though the Minutemen got in their attacks there at the end.
And so it was our great nation was born. From the ashes of the Revolutionary War rose a nation that upholds the ideals of liberty, equality, and unity. For as the wind blows across America, from the rolling hills to the glistening seas, it will have passed over naught but free men.
All right, well, there we have it. I guess I didn't need to hit end turn or anything after all, and it looks like the capital has automatically been moved back. Fantastic. Wait. I seem to have gone back to the campaign map now. Or the main menu screen, rather, and I didn't mean to do that, so give me a second and I'll be right back in. Alright, well, here I am back on the campaign map. I'm not sure why it booted me to the main menu, but of course the save was before the Battle of Boston, so just pretend Boston has been retaken. I I don't know why that happened. I guess maybe this is a campaign that just ends after... Because it's more of a... what do you call it? I don't want to say a story campaign, but I guess that kind of is what it is. This is part of the Road to Independence campaign, or series of campaigns. So maybe that's just supposed to end once you get the victory screen. There's no continuing the campaign or anything. Oh, you can also ignore all of the main menu freaking out along the edges there. That's supposed to happen. It's not supposed to happen, but the reshade preset actually does that. For some reason, the main menu just like freaks out like that. It doesn't affect the rest of the game, so I just kind of ignore it. But anyway, so victory. We have victory. So now, standard procedure for my campaigns is to have one more episode, an epilogue episode. There'll be no battles in it, so if that's what you're here for, and admittedly that's what I focus on, so maybe that is all you care about, you don't need to watch it. But basically what I do is I go back through the various saves that we have here and talk about the campaign as it progressed. So I do map reveals to see like what the other factions were doing. I'll talk about, and I'll do map reveals on each of these saves too. Normally I don't do all the saves, but let's be honest, there's only 5 saves, so maybe I could just do them all. I also talk about things that I generally don't talk about during my campaign. Like I don't really talk about my economy. I don't necessarily talk too much about like my recruitment. Like I do a bit, but I don't really explain like the full thought behind why I recruit different units. So sometimes I'll throw that information in there as well. Now, I don't believe there's a console in Empire Total War, at least not one that's exposed to players, so I'm actually not sure how much of that I'll be able to do, because that's basically what I do, what I've done in all of my past epilogues, but I don't know, for example, if there is a way to reveal the Fog of War. I imagine there is, I just don't know it. I just don't know it off the top of my head here, so I guess I would have to go looking for that solution. But anyway, that's what the epilogue episode is. And so if any of that sounds interesting to you, it should actually be out right now. So you can go ahead and watch that. If you're not going to watch that, well, then the campaign is over. So I hope to see you in any of my future campaigns. And also, I do have a Divide and Conquer campaign that's going on right now. So you can also watch that or any of my past campaigns. But I guess regardless of what you choose to do, thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you next time.